The story opens with Cameron watching the football finals between the Saviors and the Atlanta Manson, sitting beside his parents. The Saviors are trailing by just a single point. The tension is sky-high. In the final moments, they pull off a miraculous comeback, winning by that very 1 point. But as the crowd erupts in celebration, tragedy strikes. Cameron's idol, Isaiah White, goes down with a devastating leg injury. Seeing the disappointment in Cameron's eyes, his father gently tells him, "To gain something in life, you must be willing to sacrifice something." He encourages his son to stay motivated and never lose hope. 14 years later, Isaiah White has become one of the most legendary names in football. He doesn't just win 1 or 2, he leads the Saviors to 8 championship titles. But now, his glorious career is reaching its twilight. Everywhere, the same question echoes: will Isaiah White play one more season? Meanwhile, Cameron has grown into a rising football star himself, finally beginning to bask in the spotlight. One evening, he's practicing alone on his hometown field. His old school coach stops by, greets him briefly, and walks away. Cameron takes a few shots. The ball rolls in slow circles before coming to a stop. As he bends down to pick it up, a man suddenly attacks him from behind, striking his head. When he wakes up in the hospital, doctors tell his mother the heartbreaking news: Cameron's career is now in serious danger. If he keeps playing, the injury could turn fatal. But Cameron refuses to quit. He joins a high-level team even as the media buzzes non-stop about his head injury. Everyone's asking the same question: can Cameron still go on? Before a big press conference, his mother begs him one last time to reconsider. But Cameron stands firm. He's worked his whole life for this moment, and he won't walk away now. At the conference, his manager brushes off the rumors, calling the injury nothing serious. Later, wandering aimlessly through a dim alley, Cameron encounters a mysterious tribal man who marks his own forehead with Cameron's signature and silently walks away. At a party soon after, Cameron finds himself unable to celebrate. His mind is clouded with the fear of his brain injury. In frustration, he lashes out even at his closest friends. Then, suddenly, the call. Not from anyone ordinary, but from his childhood hero, Isaiah White himself. Isaiah invites Cameron to a secret training location. Though hesitant at first, Cameron is persuaded when Isaiah reminds him of his late father's words. And so, he accepts. Cameron is driven to a remote, desolate area where strange fans await him. Eventually, he's dropped off at an isolated house. Inside, he finds Isaiah's trophies, awards, and unsettling photographs scattered around. In a room filled with odd hunting memorabilia, Isaiah finally appears, greeting him with a warm smile. Cameron, however, is unsettled by Isaiah's strange obsession with hunting. Isaiah begins to explain the ancient rivalry between Native Americans and whites. The natives, agile and cunning. The whites, aggressive and ruthless. He claims this very conflict inspired the spirit of football itself, even influencing the invention of the forward pass. Before training begins, Isaiah sets his rules. No phones, no distractions, no indulgences. Only football. And so, Cameron's brutal training begins. He practices long-range throws, sharpens his aim, and pushes his stamina beyond its limits. Isaiah introduces Cameron to Marco, a physiotherapist who performs a complete medical evaluation to determine whether he's fit enough for the upcoming matches. Soon after, Cameron meets Elise, Isaiah's sister, a calm, confident businesswoman who greets him warmly. Seeking recovery, Cameron steps into an ice bath, but nearby, he notices something unsettling: Isaiah receiving a blood transfusion. The sight unnerves him. Then Marco injects Cameron with an unknown substance that leaves his mind foggy and unfocused. The next morning, training intensifies. Endurance drills push him to the breaking point until he collapses, vomiting and gasping for air. In that moment of delirium, a woman in a red dress appears, lunging at him with a weapon. But as she swings, Cameron realizes it's just a hallucination. Isaiah gives him 1 week to improve his stamina. Meanwhile, Marco keeps injecting him with mysterious substances. Soon, Cameron faces a brutal new challenge. He must catch and pass the ball within 2 seconds, or his teammate will take a full-force hit straight to the face. The pressure is crushing. He hesitates, fumbles, and his teammates suffer, bloodied and panicked. Isaiah warns coldly, "Focus, or people will die." Under immense pressure, Cameron finally gets it right. But Isaiah's behavior keeps getting stranger, fueling Cameron's suspicion that something isn't right. When Cameron's stitches begin to reopen, Isaiah escalates his training. He seals him inside a high-pressure chamber, 50 psi and climbing. The strain drives Cameron's mind to the edge. Terrifying illusions blur the line between reality and nightmare, yet he keeps pushing forward. Then come the leadership drills. Isaiah's men brutally tackle him again and again, testing his pain threshold. Cameron stumbles and falls, but Isaiah roars at him to remember his father, to find his courage. With his wounds tearing open, Cameron finally snaps. He charges forward, headbutts an opponent, and smashes him to the ground, leaving the man severely injured. Isaiah, impressed by the rage he's unleashed, begins to see Cameron as the true heir to his legacy. That night, Cameron wanders the dark hallways, haunted by hallucinations, flashes of paparazzi choking him, shadows closing in. Terrified, he calls his mother just to wish her a happy birthday. But before he can speak freely, Marco bursts in, forcing him to hang up. Marco insists he would give his life for athletes like Cameron, and urges him to keep training no matter what. Later, inside the sauna, Isaiah reminisces about his playing days, the locker rooms, the cheers, the roar of the crowd. He warns Cameron not to climb the ladder of greatness blindly, not to become like him. Moments later, as Cameron sits alone, a woman suddenly attacks him with a stone. He fights back, choking her in self-defense until she falls lifeless. Isaiah rushes in, seemingly saving him from the chaos. Confused by Isaiah's erratic behavior, Cameron turns to Elise for help. But she brushes it off, saying Isaiah just seems odd to outsiders. Elise then invites Cameron to an extravagant party with her entourage. Together, they drink, dance, and lose themselves in reckless revelry until sunrise. The next morning, Isaiah storms into Cameron's room, gun in hand. His voice trembles with rage as he demands to know if Cameron slept with Elise. Cameron denies it, reminding him of his own high school girlfriend. Isaiah stares coldly and says, "Don't care about anyone's feelings. The only thing that matters is football." Training finally ends, and Cameron prepares for his big interview. But midway through, emotions overwhelm him. Breaking down, he confesses his guilt for almost quitting football, for letting his late father down. Through tears, he vows to keep playing in his father's memory. Later, Elise helps him get ready for a grand celebration, a gathering of high-ranking Saviors officials and team owners. At the event, they ask him if he's ready for the next step. Cameron nods, drinks his wine, and slowly slips into intoxication. Meanwhile, Elise betrays Marco, offering him as a sacrifice in a dark ritual. The next scene opens with Cameron lying weak and dazed on a bed. A syringe appears before him. Once the injection enters his bloodstream, strange changes ripple through his body. Mustering every ounce of strength, Cameron storms toward Isaiah, now determined to kill him. Inside Isaiah's room, he discovers a horrifying sight: old jerseys of fallen quarterbacks hung like trophies. In that moment, the truth hits him hard. Isaiah has been prolonging his career by transfusing the blood of past greats, stealing their abilities to keep himself at the top. Isaiah smirks and challenges him. Whoever wins walks through that tunnel and onto the field. The brutal fight begins. Cameron lands heavy punches, but Isaiah snaps his arm with monstrous force. Writhing in agony, Cameron roars back, snarling, "The opposite of savior is destroyer." Fueled by pure rage, he grabs a helmet and smashes Isaiah repeatedly until he lies lifeless on the floor. Cameron pushes through a door, entering a chamber where Elise stands beside the Savior's executives, holding a contract. Stunned, he realizes the horrifying truth: the officials are part of a cult. Every survivor of this twisted trial earns a seat among them. They urge Cameron to sign. But the puzzle pieces finally connect. His entire life, from his mother to Isaiah, had been manipulated for this very moment. His father had been killed for the same plan. Enraged, Cameron refuses. He explodes in fury, slashing through guards, stabbing Elise in the neck, tearing through the executives, and finally decapitating the CEO of the Saviors. As he walks away from the carnage, his father's words echo in his mind. No guts. No glory. And that's how the movie ends. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more awesome recaps.